How we doing, guys? Welcome to today's DT's Daily. Now, on today's show, we're going to keep it very, very simple. Is Bukayo Saka the most disrespected player in England? Because as far as I'm concerned, he is. And it's really winding me up. It's wound me up for quite a while, to be perfectly honest with you. And this is not just an Arsenal thing, because he's one of our own. He's a homegrown boy and all the rest of it. But some of the stuff that I see that's said about Bukayo Saka, and even lately by our own fans, leaves me scratching my head. When I was watching that England game against Wales, and I watched the way that he scored that goal, it was just Bukayo Saka-like. Opens up at the angle, bends it into the top corner. You know what's coming, but you can't stop it. A player that used to do that all the time was Arjen Robben. But the issue is that even leading up to this England game, I'm seeing reports in local, papers and everything else saying, if it wasn't for Madueke being injured, Saka wouldn't be in the England squad possibly and playing. And I'm like, what? What are you going on about? When you look at the last set of internationals 3 weeks ago, Madueke got an assist and he got a goal and he played very well. And he's played really, really well since he's joined Arsenal. But as soon as the game's done, straight away it's like, well, Saka's not going to be able to get back into the side. He's not going to get back in at Arsenal. Maybe he needs to move out on the left-hand side. That's the common one. And I'm sitting there and thinking, what are you on about? What do you mean, move him out to the left-hand side? Bar Mo Salah, apart from this season, because he had a really slow start at Liverpool to the season, there's no better right winger in the Premier League. Bukayo Saka's one of the best right wingers in the world. And yet, the moment he's not playing a game, the moment somebody steps in and it's like, oh, play him over there. Play him on the left. Play him at left back. Ian Wright did that once, didn't he? And he had to apologise. What is this? Because when Bukayo Saka started his career and he first came into the Arsenal side, he was playing as a left back / left wing back, before he then got his natural position and started to establish himself and become the player he is today. Now all of a sudden it's like, oh, okay, just stick him over there. What? You got one of the best players in the world in that position and you're talking about playing him elsewhere. You're talking about how, he might not be able to get into the side. On what planet? Do you actually use your brain before you start engaging in conversation? And it's really winding me up because the people that are doing it are not trolls on social media. We can expect that. We understand that. That's part and parcel of it. But these are people that are paid to give their opinions. Ex-players that are now pundits and, reporters and journalists. What are you talking about? As soon as there's a right winger or a player that plays in that kind of area that does something at club level, who's it get compared to? Bukayo Saka. How many years did we have to listen to Phil Foden being better than Bukayo Saka? Even though Phil Foden's not a right winger. So I'm looking at that and I'm thinking, okay, Phil Foden had an unbelievable season a couple of years ago. But then last year when Man City were in the dumps and things weren't going right and they needed their big players to step up, where was Phil Foden? Vanished. Disappeared. Nobody knew where he was. When Arsenal were in the dumps, when Arsenal were at their lowest, Bukayo Saka was coming into the side as a young boy and he was dragging senior players up. Never, ever, ever goes missing. Then we had the debate over Cole Palmer. Again, another player, not a right winger, but let's compare him. Cole Palmer might come into the side and all of a sudden it's like, well, Saka ain't going to get his place in the England squad now. Cole Palmer's in there and everything else. On what planet? Cole Palmer can play on the inside of Bukayo Saka. Bukayo Saka is the right winger for England. Full stop. At international tournaments, everything. We'll go back to Phil Foden. What has he done at international level? Nothing. He flops every time he plays at international level. Yet Bukayo Saka has done it in the World Cup, at the Euros, whenever he plays for England. Bukayo Saka delivers. Do you remember when Ahmad had that little run of games where he was doing really well at Manchester United and everything else? Who do you think that he was compared to? And what happened? He's better than Bukayo Saka. In what world? Ahmad doesn't even come close to Bukayo Saka. And the consistency and the level that he is producing every single season. Last season was Bukayo Saka's first major injury, and he missed half of the season. But yet when he came back from that injury, which he had no right doing given the severity of it, and being 70-odd% fit, he was still able to go to places like the Bernabeu and dunk on the likes of Thibaut Courtois, who's one of the best goalkeepers in the world. What more does he have to prove? What more does he have to do to get the respect he deserves? We're so lucky to have Bukayo Saka. But yet some of you are slating him and ripping into him over this penalty situation with Gyökeres. And I've said it already in other videos where they're talking about how, you know, he hasn't asked permission to take the penalty. Honestly, seriously, it winds me up. Bukayo Saka, for me, is the most disrespected footballer in England. A lad that produces on a consistent basis in the way that he has should never get disrespected the way he has. All right, let's remember he's just finished his 200th Premier League game for Arsenal at 24 years old. And he's also got 100 goals and assists in that period in the Premier League. When you look at the top 6 players that have reached that milestone, Bukayo Saka is there with the likes of Rooney, Owen, Ronaldo. Like, somebody make it make sense to me, please. Please, somebody. Why does he get disrespected the way that he gets disrespected? You know, if he has a setback, he delivers. When you think about the penalty he missed in the final against Italy, but yet he still stepped up after that. We're still able to say, nah, let's go. Like, come on. He produces in World Cups, in Euros, for Arsenal, the Champions League. He produces on every single stage he is on. Show him some respect. That's all I'm going to say. So, there we go. That is it for today's DT's Daily. As usual, let me know in the comment section what you think. Is he the most disrespected player in the Premier League? I think he is. And it really winds me up. So you know what to do if you haven't already. Hit the subscribe button, smash a like on this video, and I will see you lot very soon. I'm out of here.